Brand disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed by individuals on this platform, the callers plus invited guests, are their own. The information you hear does not reflect the overall views of all parties associated with this brand. We encourage everyone to research all things heard live or via archive for edification purposes. Discretion is advised.
Don't touch that dial. You're now listening to Debate Talk Free Radio.
Help keep the show on the air. If you want to help, you can send your donation through PayPal. The email is debatetalkforyou@gmail.com or through Cash App, $SALSHOWTIME. Thanks for your support.
I got two special guests here. Let me introduce them right now. My first special guest has been on the show several times before. He's debated, had dialogues, and he's a regular on his platform. This is Mack Thomas. Welcome to the platform.
Shalom, shalom. What's up, family? Thank you, Sal, for letting me in the show. And I guess my daughter has a lot to say.
Of course, you got a special feature, your daughter, in the background. It's all good. Style Showtime, love the kids. You know how we get down. We love the kids on Debate Talk for You.
Yeah, apparently she's going to help me with the dialogue.
There we go. It's all good, man. It's all good. And my next special guest, he's also been in the show several times before. He's been in debates. He's been in dialogues, roundtable discussions. So it's always good to have familiar faces and voices that's been on the platform. This is Ouidah. What's going on, my brother? How you feeling?
All right, and you? How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm hanging in there, man. I appreciate you for coming on the platform, man. What you been up to?
Man, just working, just making money to take care of the house. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Gotta take care of the household. Gotta take care of the family.
Yeah, you gotta pay the bills, man. I feel you. Gotta pay the bills, bro. No doubt.
Most definitely.
All right, so we're going to get this thing started, man, and I'm going to start off with Ouidah, you know what I mean? I'm going to leave your mic open real quick. And again, for those who want to join in, the number is 845-241-9995. This is an open platform. The only thing I ask is when you call in, there's no foul language. Keep it clean, keep it professional. And this show will be archived, so you can always go back and check it out. But, I mean, Ouidah, you've been on Clubhouse recently, social media, stuff like that. And this show is about our community, right? So in your personal opinion, is there a real brotherhood amongst us brothers? Explain.
Nah, not really. And the only reason why I say that is because the fact is that we still have brothers that have the mindset of the street mentality, to the point is that we have a different understanding from the word God, and it's like what you said, it's a roadblock between us. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really see the fellowship with us, point that we are trying to come together and understand what God's will is for us to do as a nation of people. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem that what we really dealing with. It's the understanding the Lord's will.
All right, let's go to Mack Thomas real quick. There, Mack, what's your opinion on that topic, man? Is there true brotherhood amongst us? What do you see?
Yeah, I agree with Brother Ouidah on that one. Just to even piggyback off of what he said, I think the unification, us like being one. Like when you read in the scriptures, it talks about like, your flesh of my flesh. Like they spoke as like we're one. We're all one and the same. Like if you read the book of Judges, you see that when a woman was brutally raped and murdered, that all the tribes aside from Benjamin came together and said, okay, we got to destroy whoever did this. And I think until we get to that point to where we actually unify spiritually, scripturally, and nationally, then we start to see a change within how we move as a people.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Once again, that number is 845-241-9995. Here's the thing, though. As far as Israel, it's supposed to be like the chosen people, enlightening people all across, the world and stuff like that. Where do we go wrong as a community if you're saying these kind of things? You want to go ahead, Matt? Okay.
Anyone, Matt?
Yeah, Matt, you there?
Oh, you wanted? You was asking. I thought you wanted to.
Yeah. No, I was asking you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad. I think where we went wrong, it's mainly just leaving it really boils down to leaving the Most High, truly leaving the Most High. And until we fully get back to Him, acknowledging our sin, acknowledging our Father's sin as well as our own, we'll never be able to we'll never be able to come back to that point of like, okay, we can now function as a people. I think a lot of things like if a lot of problems is that we are so jacked up. We've been jacked up since we got here. Even when there are leaders that are actually leaders of integrity, to the best of their ability, they may not have all the answers, but even to the best of their ability, they're leaders of integrity. We don't gravitate to them. We don't listen to them, even when they're for the betterment of our people. It takes, and I hate to use this example, but it literally takes a movie about monkeys to kind of show like they're talking about us and they're making fun of us, but this is the type of unity that when they show it, it shows us, it shows the capabilities of how strong we could be if we actually would just, be on the same wavelengths together with the Most High.
All right, Ouidah, you want to chime in anything he said that you want to speak on?
Yeah. Well, the whole thing about the division is, like you said, and it's true, like what he said, that, you got to understand we've been confounded for 400 years, and we ain't really gravitated to the world, to the word like the way we supposed to. And a lot of people just coming into the truth and trying to understand. But my thing is this, right? How can someone that even been in the truth for 30 years claim to teach somebody when God even tells you that we all have to be taught through the word? You see what I'm saying? And the thing is, when we have other people that's claiming, even with these camps teaching us, we still getting misinformation. It's not coming out. And then the whole division is that, well, if you can't be with my camp, you know what I'm saying, that you don't have the true understand. We even got camps that's going against one another about the true word. You know what I'm saying, claiming that they the one that has the true word of God. You see what I'm saying? So the whole thing is, it's just like being out on the streets. You got your different camps, you got your different gangs, and so forth. If you ain't finna rock with me, I'm not finna rock with you. You see what I'm saying? And we bring divisions amongst ourselves. Because the fact is that we being prideful, we're not trying to adhere to one person. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the scripture says in Proverbs 27, which said, iron sharpen iron. Instead of us trying to listen to each other and be more humble to try to understand each other, people would assume, well, that's not the truth. I have the truth. Something that you're not telling me is right. Everybody want to be right in their own mind, and that's not the case. Because, see, everybody keep forgetting, like what God prophesied, that we was going to be in captivity for 400 years. And the laws have been done away with because the fact is, when we went into captivity, our people did not have the law. They did not know the law. We the last generation of this world to be said that this is our very last captivity. You see what I'm saying? So now that the book is open and people is trying to understand who they are, where they come from, and what they're supposed to be doing, and they lingering on to other people who's being malicious, being greedy, being prideful. You know what I'm saying? People taking a lot of people's taking it for a joke, where they're using this thing as a game. You know what I'm saying? And this is our salvation, that we playing with our own lives and not trying to adhere to the word of God and be serious about what's about to go down. Because even in the word of God, it's prophesying in the end times about death and destruction. You see what I'm saying? And if you got somebody prophesying about death and destruction, wouldn't you want to take that serious instead of just trying to play with somebody's life, their mind, their heart, their understanding? Because a lot of people is really putting in time trying to know the truth because they want to get right with God. You see what I'm saying? So it's a big mess up. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't think that's really serious about their lives. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I look at it. I done been on a lot of social medias, and I've seen how people done manipulate people, don't cuss people out and belittle them and talk about them, and just because they feel as though when they try to express themselves with the word of God, that they don't have a full understanding. So you got to assassinate somebody's character in order to defame them and say, if you follow me, I can teach you the truth. But you don't even have the truth itself. So,
but see,
that's what I'm saying.
To even piggyback off of what you're saying, brother, it kind of it's even if like me and you having even me and you having our differences, what's quite disturbing is that even then we can't even on the basic levels, it's like the majority of us on the basic levels can't even figure out what the real standard of like how we ought to be as a people. And I'm not even saying you or even myself or Sal or anybody else, but I'm saying like as a whole, as a people as a whole, it's like we've allowed stuff to come in to just totally disrupt the like righteous tendencies that we already had, right? So we already understood marriage to be a sacred union between a man and a woman. And we understood what that union meant. Our ancestors knew that. Our forefathers knew that. And they did wrong, but they understood what it always was meant to be, even though it was corrupted. We come here in these different countries and stuff like that, and with these different brothers, these Johnny-come-latelys coming along, and it's like now we're seeing wife turning against her husband turning against his wife, the children having no fathers, the children turning on their parents, or the parents turning on their children. That same spirit is just being perpetuated because, one, we are not willing to – it's like we're not willing to humble ourselves to go back to these scripts, the righteous standard that we should have, and see, like, wait a minute, our families are jacked up. We can never be a nation like we can never be a strong nation if we don't even get down to the very things that even make a nation what it is. You start with the family house. You start with the home, and we got so many of our women who don't even want to be with our men. We have so many of our men not wanting to be with our women, and it's perpetuating a cycle of a lack of unity, a lack of like righteous unity that we should have. Did we not like grow up? I mean, shoot, I'm 30 now, and I know Sal is much older than I am, and you probably much older than I am too. I mean,
I'm headed toward 50.
Huh?
I'll be 50 years old this year.
Oh shoot, yeah, you definitely have. I pay my respects. I'm not even saying that to be funny, but it's like you know your parents and even your grandparents, or you just knew that in that generation, we didn't play that about how our children were supposed to grow up and be. We didn't play that about marriage. It's like we have even lost that function, that type of unity. And it's like the Johnny-come-lately brothers who are the camps and stuff like that who come along, it's like they totally disregard the law, and they make our women and our men 10 times worse than they were before. So I'm just frustrated with the whole thing, because I would love to see that unity. I would love to see us coming together, even on the basic level, instead of us just only showing up to a Black Lives Matter rally, but we go straight back home. Nobody knows who their brother is from a can of paint. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, the thing is what I see is that my brother is somebody who think like me, because he's the person that don't think like me, we got a problem. You see what I'm saying? So we have a difference of opinion, and that's the whole thing. Now, I get the thing, what you're talking about with the marriage and all that, that was a union. And but understand this, right? God already prophesied this, that he cursed our people. We did not keep the covenant. So we understand this to be a curse on our people. And the only way God said we can lift the curse is by turning back to the laws of God. So the thing is with that, I get what you said, what it starts with the family. But see, the thing is, even the family is not all the way on board with the situation, because you got family that disagree with your beliefs. They think you crazy. You see what I'm saying? You go back and try to tell a brother or sister or a wife or something that, oh, we are the people of God. See if they're going to agree with you. See if they want to participate and try to learn who they are. Try to do the research. Try to want to study. You know what I'm saying? Get familiar with God. So the thing is, I understand when it comes down to the house supposed to be the first. But the thing is, that's not always the case, because simple reason, we still have a decision to make whether we're going to do this or not, and comfortable in their livelihood. People still like to run the streets. They still like to go to the clubs. They still like to smoke the weed. They still like to drink the beer. You see what I'm saying? So the fact is just, look how it's done. You got to make a choice for that person that you've been with in a relationship, no matter if it's been 1 year, 3 years, 5 to 10 or 20 years, or whether you want to stay with that person to be with them because you love them, or whether you want to say, I love God more, and turn away from them because the fact is they're not willing to participate in getting their life right with God just the way that you feel about it. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's even like that with the family. So the whole thing is with me, like, when it comes down to the family, hey, that's a toss-up itself. Because if the family ain't going to always want to be on board with what you believe in. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's still a toss-up in itself. I mean, we back and forth with each other. Even brothers that come into the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I see we got some people checking out the show. Once again, the number is 845-241-9995. That's 845-241-9995. Let's press number 1 if you want to chime into the conversation. Yeah, man, what about the whole debates that's going on? I mean, you know, listen, we do debates on Debate Talk for You, but as you guys know, we do it to a place where there's no foul language. Got to keep it clean, keep it professional. You know, actually, there's some people that don't want to even come on the show because of that. They want to curse. They want to, you know, talk all kind of crazy ways. You know, because they feel like, you know, we're putting a strong, like, you know, they feel like they can't be themselves. They have to do those kind of things. I mean, in your opinion, is the debates also that's going on nowadays dividing us? Are people taking it too personal with some of these debates? Ouidah?
Yeah, that's true. People are taking it personal because, I mean, we all got strong feelings about what we believe in, and we ain't going to let nobody alter our understanding from what we thought, what we was taught. So you is going to have brothers that will come up on a platform and get rowdy and get upset and uptight where they want to cuss and carry on and act a fool. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't really think now we had a civil debate according to what the word of God says, debate thy cause with thy neighbor himself and discover not a secret from another. We supposed to try to talk to one another and try to get an understanding of what we supposed to be doing. And people taking debates in another way to the point is, well, you don't believe what I believe, so basically we not really brothers. You know what I'm saying? And to the point is, if you're not my brother, to the point that you believe what I believe, I could disrespect you. I could call you all type of names. You know what I'm saying? And that's the real that's a messed up situation when we all trying to be on one level. We supposed to be trying to find one common ground. And like I said, I agree with that situation because the fact is I done been through it. I done hear brothers cuss me out from different camps because I don't believe what they believe in. You know what I'm saying? Where it got heated to the point that we actually started talking about fighting and getting, real grimy with each other. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like I said, I don't understand how people say that they trying to find the truth and be righteous, but in the same token, they still want to live their life where they got to fight their own brother. When this ain't what God is about. You know what I'm saying? The law tells us what we're supposed to do. It says, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart, in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him. That's a law. And people not understanding the law, and they taking it out of context to the point is they making it fit what they want it to be. That's the most damaging thing that we doing to ourselves because the fact is, like I said, we still on the streets. We still ain't really developed ourselves to be what God told us to be. So you still going to have some people say, well, I'm in the truth, but I'm still get down like I'm out on the streets. To the point is that when it comes down to a debate situation, again, you don't think what I think. You don't believe how I believe. Therefore, I can classify you as an enemy to me. And especially with the camps. The camps are so ridiculous, it's pathetic. To the point is, they will actually go to a person's neighborhood and actually get grimy with them. If you don't heard about some stuff on social media, how camps now actually got into physical confrontation with one another, it's
that's crazy. I heard about that.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen it. I done seen it. Yep. And it's just getting too crazy. Like I said, we even more divided than we are now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As far as what I know.
But how is that? The question is, how is that so if we're supposed to be the chosen people and things of that nature, you know? But hold on. I got a few people pressing number one, guys. Mack Thomas, I'm gonna get to you, but once again the number's 845-241-9995. If you want to chime in, guys, just dial that number, press number one. If you're already on the phone line, simply press number one, and we'll add you in the conversation. Today's show is entitled "Our Hebrew Israelite Brotherhood in Question." My special guest is Ouidah and Mack Thomas. Let's go to the first caller. It's for the 530. You're live, 530.
Yo, what's the word, family? It's BA out of Sacramento, California. What's good?
Hey, my brother BA, what's going on? Man Up segment. What's happening, bro?
Good. What's good? Yeah, listening to the elder speak, he's making some very good points. One thing we have to also realize as brothers, and I believe a lot of us may have drunk of this cup. I know I have. We have been hostile towards each other, and we have not been so brotherly towards one another. And a lot of times it's because of our differences. I know I got plenty of strikes on me because there's been times where I've tried to be brotherly, and there have been times where I have not been brotherly. And I think for us to come to a solution to this matter is that we all have to admit that we have all done wrong. Once we can admit the fact that we've done wrong, that's when the maturity level can start. We can start maturing and we start growing. And we have to also realize a lot of Israelites, not all, but a good portion of them, they don't know how to communicate and talk to each other. We're claiming to be God's chosen people, but for some reason, when it comes to basic communications and common sense, we don't have that for some reason. But we want to showcase that we're chosen by God. God's chosen people should know how to be cordial towards one another, and not just one another, just towards everybody else, period. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people will say, well, all of Israel ain't Israel. So these same people will sit here in the same breath attack another brother or attack another human being for having any type of difference with them. And there's nothing wrong with being critical of another person's belief, but it's how we go about when we're bringing our critique. It's how we're going about it. It's how our conduct and our behavior towards each other can be. So if we're claiming to be so set apart and to be so holy, I think it should come with our speech and our behavior towards one another and other people in our community or people around us, and just in the real world. And then once we get that down and learn how to communicate instead of talk to each other, not talk at each other, then we may hopefully, most high willing, we can see the improvement that we most definitely need.
See, but in this thing, I respect BA. I just can't accept what he's saying because his beard is better than mine. So I'm just somewhat like I'm like, this brother got that whole like straight up sheet on his face that's like on point.
He said you got a better beard. He said you got a better beard than his, bro.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. I know he's gotten on me. He hasn't gotten on me in the past about my beard, no. But no. But on a serious note, yeah, BA's right. I mean, I think a lot of us are just so Gentile in mindset. We do exactly what they do, and it's hard to. It's really that temptation. It's really a hard temptation to come out of. We've been so Gentile minded that it's hard for us to figure out what actually is righteous versus what is unrighteous, and I think for us who are too old for this nonsense type of people, we've kind of just mellowed out in a lot of things and have seen like the error of our ways and kind of just gotten to that point to where it's like, this don't even make sense anymore to keep doing this. And you got some of those people who are old and stuck in their ways. You got some of the people who are the young knuckleheads that just won't listen. It's like really, I don't know. It's all it's going to take is the spirit of the Most High. Truly, that's all it has to be sometimes, because I don't have the power to drag someone from the gates of hell, like to get them out of situations. Some people just literally have to fall down upon the rock and be broken and kind of learn from their wrongdoing. And sadly to say is that some people can't learn it to where they literally die in that state. And it's hard to grasp on that, but it's like, what can you do? Me as a man, it's like me growing up, it was difficult for me to understand how it was possible for a man to leave his children and his wife behind. How is it possible that you have parents who will literally destroy or devour their own children? When you read some of this stuff in the book, it gets real serious. When you're so deprived in your mind, you'll kill your own children and literally eat them. You'll sell your own children to be slaves in the system. I mean, it's like abortion and all these other, like foster care and all these different things that are like wicked systems that they have set up. It's like we've allowed this stuff to continue in our communities. And so how much great is it that when we can't even be unified when it comes to Gentiles being against us, it's like we can't even be unified when our own brothers is against us. It's like we can't even, it's like what are we going to do? We can't even deal with our own and with the people who's clearly our enemy that's coming after us. You know? It's bad because the Most High truly, when the Most High gave His word on what was going to happen, it's like how do you truly overcome this unless you have the Spirit and unless you're obedient? You know, as much as I want to be that type of individual, to be that person that says, oh, you know, I got a plot of land and I'm going to build a house for all sorts of people to come by, and y'all come here and just, you know, lay down and forget about your troubles. Just come and work on a farm, and, you know, let's all build together. It's like, have you ever dealt with me before? Have I ever dealt with you before? We're not even unified. It's like it's like we can't even be under the same roof. Otherwise, this is going to be like a Abraham and Lot moment. It's like our servants are going to be fighting each other. Our brothers are going to be fighting each other. Our children are going to be fighting each other because we ain't got enough room.
Yeah. Yeah, hold on one second, Mac. Hold on 1 second, Mac. We got somebody else standing by. Once again, the number is 845-241-9995. Our Hebrew Israelite Brotherhood in question. Really, you know, listen, something that we need to talk about, and this is the conversation. So if you want to chime in, of course, dial that number. Press the number 1 and we'll add you into the conversation. I got my brother Gabbar here. Gabbar, what's going on, man?
Yo, Sal, what's going on? What's going on? Back on the Big Talk for You on Blog Talk. Just want to say shalom, peace to everybody that's on the panel. Much needed discussion that needs to be had. Much needed discussion.
Yeah, man. So you want to add your 2 cents to this, man? Like, you know, what's going on with the community, brother? What's going on? Like Marvin Gaye, what's going on?
Man, it's a lot of implosion. That's from what I see. Especially since this Clubhouse thing kicked off. You know, it's really exposing itself. You know, like and a lot of it, honestly, from what I can see, as far as the brotherhood and why it's in question. A lot of brothers and sisters, unfortunately, have gotten into the numbers game, where they're trying to they're trying to have a draw, you know, seeing how many people they can get to come to their platforms, and it's even at the risk of them stepping on someone else that's their brother. So it's kind of like a crabs in a bucket mentality that has formed, you know, because, you know, granted, you do have a lot of people that are coming into this space. They're coming into this walk, but we're not the dominant religion, you know, worldwide. So still a small number, you know, in comparison to, you know, the masses that we have throughout the earth. And because the numbers are so small, you know, everybody's fighting for those numbers, you know, and, you know, I think it no longer becomes about the truth and scriptures. It becomes more about how many people can I get on my platform, because some people are monetizing their platforms. So the more people they can get to come to their platform, the more funds that they get, you know, deposited into their bank account, you know, with their YouTube views and stuff like that, you know. So I know I can sense that that's definitely got something to do with it, and it's altered the judgment that these brothers make, you know. So now they're making judgment calls based upon their numbers, as opposed to just rightly dividing the word and allowing the scriptures to guide them on how to deal with certain matters. But I mean, the brotherhood in general, brothers been beefing for quite some time, even before Clubhouse. But I believe that now it's gotten worse because of it. Like BA was saying, you know, brothers just don't know how to speak to each other. Brothers just don't know how to talk. And some of the conduct, it's just not being exercised. Like when you got an issue with someone, Matthew 18, if you believe in the New Testament, that's not applied. Leviticus 19, like Ouidah was bringing out, like about not hating your brother in your heart. You're supposed to be going to him, talking to him, bringing forth whatever correction, putting everything on the table. I mean, these things are not happening. Not at the scale that they need to happen. It's everyone's in a clique, and you don't want to make the people in your clique, you don't want to, like, be embarrassed by them, so you kind of do things that are not necessarily righteous just in order to save face, that way your numbers can stay. So that's what I'm kind of seeing. It's a lot of respect to persons that's going on, and we just need to start having the conversation so that way brothers can build. I will say that kind of I heard about the camps being spoken is that, the camps are coming together. I'll give credit where it's due. I mean, you see the unity camps happen. So it's not like they aren't having no form of unity at all, but does there need to be more conversations in terms of the brotherhood? Yeah, because it's affected a lot of things, and, we don't even want to speak with each other. And I agree with a lot with what B.A. was saying. It's just, we don't know how to communicate and talk. So I'll go ahead and I'll just kind of land my plane there.
All right, man. Appreciate your call. Ouidah, you want to chime in? You can chime in.
Yeah, I mean, and not only that, but then look back in the days where I grew up, it was always the yes, ma'am, the no, ma'am, the yes, sir, the no, sir. We don't have that respect for our elders no more. You know what I'm saying? To the point is that, you just looked as a person that's out on the street. Like I said, people just not understanding, like, where's the respect? You know what I'm saying? Where's the respect for the elders? Because the fact is that you want somebody to respect your parents, but you don't want to respect other people's parents. So we got a lot of divisions that's breaking us up as a people, a nation. Because the fact is that we done lost our hope within ourselves to the point of people being so selfish. Even like what the brother said, Gabbar said about the money situation. We playing with our lives. To the point is, like you said, you monetizing your platform. You want to get as much money as you can. It ain't about sincerity and truth, about wanting to know God in order to get right with God. Everything is about bringing in as many people you can to see how much money you could get and build. Because the whole thing is this, right? Do you really care about the people as you say you do? And does that matter to you? What does that mean to you when you destroy somebody else's life just to benefit your own? That's the whole thing right here. Because the whole thing, what I'm saying is, it's personal gain. It's not about truth and sincerity, lifting up another brother or another sister. You see what I'm saying? Even with the women, like I said, I could go back to what the brother Mack said about with the women. Hey, you got the women that goes against the men. The women want to wear the pants. They don't want to take no suggestions or orders for their husband. Or same thing with the boyfriend and the girlfriend situation, vice versa. We are against each other in all ways. No matter how you bring the situation up or whatever the topic is, it's always divide and division. And we are divided in every aspect of us being a people in the nation that God chose. You see what I'm saying? So how do we get back to that? The thing is, what God says, he said, take hold of the covenant. We got to come back and do what's right. And it'll never happen if we keep on seeing things on different times. Even when you look up in the Word of God, Israel fought against Israel. That's common. That's what we're seeing right now. We're going against each other based on belief, based on status. You see what I'm saying? So why do money have to determine how much status I have when it's all about your integrity? You see what I'm saying? People let money overtake them to the point is that they want to have a status way beyond other people when we all supposed to build up together. I'm not rising with you if you think that you higher than me. You see what I'm saying? We supposed to bring each other up. And that's not the case in this situation. Like I said, we still got division because of the belief, because of wealth, because of the things that we have. And it's always going to be like that. You know what I'm saying? Because the fact is how we see life. Everybody got their own view of life and what they see what's right for them. If you believe money going to get me to the top, that's what you're going to do. If you believe that you can bring another brother up and that we could come together, rise as a people, then that's what it's going to be. And see, people ain't looking at that. People ain't putting their pride to the side and saying, we got to build together. We got to help one another. Because the thing is, we don't trust each other just as well because, like I said, if we was out on the streets and we knew each other to the point, not even saying know each other, we looked at each other as strangers to the point is that we would want to hurt each other. You see what I'm saying? But we the same people, just like what you say, Sal. We are the same people that God chose, and we still fight against each other because of our beliefs. Everybody got their own personal feeling of what they think that life should be, and it's not according to what God said it was, because one thing people keep forgetting is that God is the one that created us. God gave us laws in order to live according to his world. Like God said, he said the heaven and the earth is his footstool. God created everything, and he gave laws for us to live by in his world, and we're not even following that. That's the biggest issue that we have.
Yeah, let me just jump in real quick.
Define us.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me loud and clear? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Yeah. All right. Once again, the number is 845-241-9995. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, though. The elephant in the room, and Ouidah, you touched on it. You know, listen, man, we have a lot of issues amongst ourselves, the Messianics, you know, the Torah only. You know, we know our issues when it comes to that. Is the problem also? Yeah, I'm hearing. Just mute your mics, guys. Mute your mics if you're not speaking. Here's some feedback. But yeah, is the problem that with this whole Torah only Messianic thing, we know our issues with that. But are we not looking at each other as brothers because of those kind of issues? Is that partially the problem? Let's go to BA.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you loud and clear.
Hello? Yeah, when it comes to that elephant in the room, Israel ain't gonna never agree on it. Let's just keep it real. Israel ain't gonna never agree on who is and who isn't, or this group rocks with this individual and this group waits for or is still waiting for an individual or whichever they stand on. When it comes to the elephant in the room, I'm gonna say it one more time. Israel will not agree and will never agree. You know what I'm saying? The only way that's going to happen when Israel is in one unison on that is when the Most High literally intervenes. That's when we'll know that Israel is united. But if the Most High wanted to come back right now at this moment and restore Israel, I can guarantee a lot of this generation will not be there. You know what I'm saying? That's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people. But I will say, as far as the differences between those who accept Yeshua and those who don't accept Yeshua, that is going to constantly be an issue. I believe that we can still come to terms and at least be cordial to one another. But at the same time, it's always going to be a problem. One side's going to always feel this way, and the other side's going to always feel that way. So that's just a topic that we're either just going to just leave it be and not address it and find other ways to communicate. And I'm done.
All right, let's go to Mack Thomas. That's a good point right there. Is that something, that issue with the Torah only and the Messianics, should we even have that discussion or leave it alone? Like, because that's the number one thing, that the issue that divides us on social media, some of these debates, stuff like that. I mean, what do you think, Mac? Should we even discuss these type of things, or just put it to the side?
I think we should because it's important. I mean, it's like saying, should we put the testimony of the prophets and the law aside because we may not agree on certain things? No, I think all these things should be talked about. I think that there can be back and forth to where we can actually get something out of it. I think it gets to the point to where when we start clearly going against like the Most High and how we ought to be towards one another as brothers, it's there's too much of it becomes too much of a problem when it starts dividing us to such extent that it's like, okay, you and I go our separate ways and, have it at that, and, we'll never speak to each other again, we'll never deal with each other again. And it's like, no. I think that I agree with BA. It's like there does have to be other forms of communication because at the end of the day, we're still a nation. I can't change my next door neighbor. I can't change who you are as my brother, as we are of the 12 tribes. I mean, I can't change that. So, we have to be able to have conversations with another. Even if we don't agree, we have to be able to communicate those things and be able to figure out, okay, how can we, what is it that we have to do to come together to actually be on one accord? Because as long as we have this division, there's not going to be a real unification that is going to be in a positive way. We should still have the standard being maintained.
Well, my thing is, I would disagree with that. To the point is, like, how long we gonna keep on talking about this to try to get an understanding when we already set in mind? It's set in stone about how you feel and what you believe. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, constantly being back and forth with this conversation, you gonna believe what you gonna believe. I'm gonna believe what I'm gonna believe. Therefore, we will have to go our separate ways. That's why God said, bless the godly that dwells not with the ungodly. You see what I'm saying? And if you notice anything about the word, when Israel was going against God, Israel actually ended up killing Israel because of them going against God. So, Old Testament, we read according to instructions. You see things like the New Testament being the word of God. We don't. You see what I'm saying? So my thing is just to you. How long are we going to keep on talking about this and try to set grounds with one another because we know that we as God's children, when we ain't getting nowhere with the conversation? If I got to constantly drill this in your head or you got to drill somebody else in their head, it ain't getting nowhere. It's just like a person being incompetent, hard for them to understand. You see what I'm saying? Or just the stubbornness itself, that to the point is you just don't want to listen. You see what I'm saying? That's what we used to say. If you're gonna go out there and get yourself in trouble, go out there and get in trouble, but don't let me be a part of it. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna do what you're gonna do. I can't keep on talking to you, and you ain't gonna want to keep listening to me. So we gonna have to depart from one another when it comes down to this. Either you gonna get right or you gonna get gone. It's plain and simple.
Right. Yeah, but I think that's part of the problem is once we have those discussions. I think it was mentioned earlier by the BA or Mac that once we had the discussions, it gets so heated that some of us say you are not my brother because of the differences. I got to go to Gabbar real quick. Gabbar, anything you want to add to this conversation? You want to chime in? This is one of those, the elephant in the room, man.
Yeah. When it comes to that in particular, well, I mean, I went on record. I've said, well, hey, when it comes to the Tanakh only side, as opposed to being messianic, in the New Testament, we're actually instructed to not bid those who don't hold the doctrine of the Messiah, don't even get them any Godspeed. So when we are dealing with a tenet like that, and then the other side has a similar tenet also, it kind of makes it difficult for some unity to form. I think that's one of the things it's never going to be a cordial situation. I mean, maybe to some extent there will be, I know people that I know that are Tanakh only, but those conversations only go but so far, and it's not like we're in communication with each other, And now, do we got to be disrespectful towards each other? No, we don't have to do that. But yeah, overall, that unity on that's not gonna happen. And to what Ouidah was saying, is like, how much longer are we gonna keep talking about it? Because at some point, it's like we already know where we stand, So it's like, what do we do now? Do we just? I mean, we're gonna have to deal with it, because at the end of the day, we dealing with the Bible, and this is our culture, our way of life. This is how we conduct ourselves. So the doctrine that's within the scriptures, I mean, we can't not talk about it. We got to talk about it, But then once we can establish that, all right, there's a clear disagreement, and we're not going to come to an agreement, then some things got to be established. All right, how do we deal with this going forward? Because if we were all in the same, like if we were operating as a nation in our own land with our own government and everything and stuff, it's like, and this same issue came about, like, how will we actually deal with it? Because right now we can just be like, all right, well, I just ain't gonna call him no more. I just ain't gonna deal with him no more. But if we were in our own land, if we got situations now, it's like, well, I'm gonna have to go to Jerusalem, and I might see this person at Passover that don't have the same viewpoint that I do. It's like now what do you do? Because now you're gonna be in the same place as this person, and it's not like you showing up to a social gathering. I mean, this is an appointed time where you got to have a certain mindset whenever you're in this. You can't be thinking about the beef that you got with this person. You gotta let all that go. So, it really does come down to how do you conduct within yourself when that situation is present. Me personally, though that's where I draw the line in the sand. I mean, when I'm walking amongst people every day, I mean, I don't know who believes in what, like when I'm walking amongst people every day. So I have to treat it just like that, just be peaceable, regardless of whatever they believe in, just be peaceable at all times. We're called to be peacemakers as Messianics, which is a tenet from the Tanakh, about establishing the peace within your gates. So I think if we focus on that, it'll at least bring down the intensity of the contention. I don't think the contention is going anywhere, but I think it will at least bring down the intensity of it.
All right, family. I'm gonna let you chime in, Matt. I'm Ouidah. I got you. We got Ouidah in the building, Mack Thomas, Brother B.A., and Gabbar on the panel right here on Debate Talk. I see we got other people listening to the show via phone. If you want to chime in, simply press number 1 and we'll add you in. The number is 845-241-9995. That's 845-241-9995. That's the brand new number. Make sure you save it to your cell phone. Put it on speed dial so when you call in, you automatically can check us out. Okay, Ouidah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wanted to say like what he said, where we was in the land, right? And we know we was in the land, and we had to keep the feast days, and God was amongst us. It wouldn't be no division, because we already know how God already set everything in stone. And if you went against what He said, you was killed. You see what I'm saying? What I'm saying is this, right? To the point is that we can't see eye to eye with this. It's to the point is, as you say, you got to know when to leave well enough alone. To the point is that we try to sit at a round table with each other and have a civil discussion about what we're supposed to be doing as a nation of people. to the point that we can't find a common ground, somebody is going to get ignited and explode and go off. I done heard people say, well, I'm tired of this. I can't take this no more, and just literally just start snapping. You see what I'm saying? So the fact is, you just got to know when to leave well enough alone. If we can't come together, let God bring us together. Every time when you keep on talking about trying to figure out the situation, that ain't nothing but a burden and the stress on yourself trying to bring people together when you know they just don't agree with you. And if we ain't going to agree, that's just like you said, you having two people in the room, you already know they don't like each other, to the point is they want to destroy each other. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, I get it. It would be nice, to the point is that we would come together as a nation of people. If that ain't the case, then that ain't the case. Because it done been some times where, hey, I done set up on people's platform and been so comfortable when it come down to it, it's just like, no, just let me leave. Because I don't want to say nothing that I'm going to end up regretting later. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, Sal, you got to admit, you've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Every time that we done came on your platform, it done been some type of eruption with us disagreeing with each other, to the point is that you don't actually had to put some people off the platform because of, man, they just went up in the uproar and just snapped. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, for your 11 years that you done did SALSHOWTIME, tell me, when have we even seen eye to eye where we can actually just sit up on this platform without nobody erupting, just cussing each other out and just going off? I just want to know that, because I don't seen that. I done been on your platform many a years.
Yeah.
So like I mean, that's be true with that. You know what I'm saying? You got to be honest with yourself. If we can't see eye to eye, that's just like you said, when people get heated up, what they say, hey, let them go by their business, let them till they calm themselves down, and then come back. You see what I'm saying? You got to let people be by themselves, to the point is they got to think things out to the point where they want to see the truth. Because the point is, right now, you trying to drill it into them and say we got to keep talking about this. We not making it as a nation of people right now because of our understanding, the way we see things. We just not. So I mean, I can sit back. I know how to be to myself. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, let me bring BA in real quick, and we're gonna kind of wrap it up pretty soon. But BA, you there, BA?
Yeah, I'm here.
I mean, I'm gonna, what was the title about taking L's, about community and stuff like that. I mean, listen, man, a lot of the Christian groups out here on social media, they from the outside in, do you think that they laugh at us, man? Like, we a joke out here, people, man?
I think that some of them, a lot of Israelites can be very difficult to be with. I mean, it's difficult to deal with, rather. I think some of the Christian apologists don't take some of us serious. And I do think there's some of us within the community who they do respect and have a little bit of, and do take serious. It just depends on the approach of your ideology and what you're teaching. One thing I have noticed, a lot of people, they disagree with Ron Divine Prospect. But one thing they do, there is a profound respect for him. They may have their disagreements, but there is a profound respect, because one thing about Ron, he brings out information. He brings out sources to show you why he has come up with his beliefs, or why he stands in a certain standard, or has some type of stance in whatever it is he stands in. But overall, there have been some Israelites who I feel who should not be teaching, and who I feel who should not be debating, because they're getting embarrassed on Clubhouse. And I don't have to say no names. Me and Gabbar and a few others have been on there. Sal, you have too. And the things that we have heard or the things we have witnessed is very embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? Because we have all these different believers coming out the woodwork who I have never met before. A bunch of 5-minute Hebrews who come on here and they just start talking and saying all kind of stuff that don't make sense. So I think that there should be certain individuals who should be allowed to speak and engage in sparring or some type of dialogue or some type of discourse with other people of different beliefs or religious sects. That's just me. If we're going to have debates, make sure that these people could be understood. Make sure these people are well sound in their belief and in their doctrine. And another thing, everything's not open for debate. I've been saying it for years. There are so many people flocking to this faith. A lot of people cannot learn or be edified through a debate. Only certain people can. I can be edified through a debate because I've been around for a while, and I've been around debates for quite some time, so I can pretty much access and analyze people's arguments and understand it from that perspective. I can also be edified from someone teaching a lesson. And what I'm noticing about a lot of brothers who debate, they cannot teach. So now all of a sudden we have people who are claiming to be pillars, or people may recognize them as a pillar in the community, as someone who can debate very well. But what happened to your teaching skills and edifying people? You have to be well-rounded in this word. It's not just about debating and cutting people's heads off and trying to gain up some type of one-upmanship over the next man. It's about, can you be well-rounded with your delivery, your approach to this word? Debate, conversation, dialogue, and so forth. There's many ways that the word of God can be taught. There's many ways how a person can receive it, and debating is not the only way. And with that, I'm done.
All right, good words. Mack Thomas, you want to chime in? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I agree with BA. I kid you not. It's like Clubhouse is kind of like a cesspool that once you fall in, it's like you trying to figure out how do you get out of there. Because I don't know how in the world. I just like with some of the doctrines that I've heard. I don't see how some people come up with the things that they do. But I think me personally, I've seen how whether people believe or don't believe in this book, Hebrew Israelite or Christian or whatever the case may be, from our community, I've noticed that even with the basic understanding that we have, whether it be about the Torah and the Tanakh, as well as whether you're Messianic or not, it does not like affect. We don't like go out to affect the community with the beliefs that we have. Meaning that when we think about how important it is to be family oriented, how important it is to love your brother as yourself, to be like a caretaker of the widow, the fatherless, and the poor, to teach the stranger. We don't know how to take what we are reading in the scriptures and apply it in everyday life. And I think that that's the biggest disconnect that we have as a people, is that what we read is not fully applied the way it should be. We're talking about a people who live everyday life like this. This is how they always existed until they was cut off. And now, now here we are, the generation that is trying to get back to the old ways, and we don't know how to connect to any of that because, we got stranger danger. We got like people who just got straight attitudes. Is like as much as you try to help them, they'll burn you. We got trust issues. We got all these different traumas and different hurts and pains that we haven't gotten over. And there truly has to be a real healing of us as a collective, as a people, so that we would stop thinking individually and start thinking nationally as a nation.
All right, Gabbar, you want to chime in real quick? Okay.
Yeah. as we come into this, so what I often do now, especially now that I've got some tenure in this, I always like to kind of chronicle the development of this, of being in this walk. So I came into this late 2009. Okay, so in the time that I've come in, I would say within the last 3 to 5 years, you've had a lot of younger people come into this. A lot of younger people. I'm talking like not even 25 yet. And I know this because of Clubhouse. There's a lot of young people that are like new to this. And even if they're not young in age, like they're still very new to this. And they could be like maybe 30, 40, 50, but they've only been in this less than a year, you know. And then you have some people who are not even, like I said, they're not even 25, and they've been in this less than a year. That's a lot of what you have on Clubhouse right now. And what I believe that, and it's, I actually want to pull from what the dialogue that I had with Elder Mike on the Sabbath when we was addressing the parallels of biblical conduct, because it directly ties to this. And a lot of these people need to get with a body. They need to get with it. I mean, if you don't want to join the camp, fine. But you got to get with some type of a congregation or fellowship so you can get some order and some structure, so you can learn about brotherhood and sisterhood, how to deal with somebody when you got an issue, and how to, you know, go and navigate through it and work it out, you know, and be patient with each other and stuff like that. Like a lot of these folks out here, they're just vagabonds. They're wanderers. You know, they're going rogue, you know, and they have no structure. And so because they have no structure, it's self-destructing. And because there's so many of them that are doing that, it's destructive to the nation. So it's about what the Most High called for. He calls for order. Whether you in the Old Testament or in the New, the Most High calls for order and structure. And that's what needs to be done if we are going to come together as a nation. Coming together in unity means that you got to have some structure. If there's some structure, that means that everybody can't be the captain of the ship. Some people got to just fall in line and be a servant, while others, you know, take the responsibility of wearing that crown that's heavy on their head. That's just what it is. And I think a lot of us don't want to accept that we ain't all leaders. All of us are not leaders. Some of us have gifts that's very vital to the ministry, but we can't be the head teacher. Everybody can't do that. Okay? Everybody's teaching, but then no one's putting the plow to the ground because everyone's so busy teaching the doctrine. Like, what about other stuff? And so, and a lot of these young people, it's just like they all just want to jump in and teach. They They giving counsel. They ain't even been in this 2 years. You know, already trying to counsel people. You know, just stuff like that. And they just think that they just got it figured out. So how can you expect someone with so little of a tenure to know about brotherhood and sisterhood according to righteousness when they've been getting their understanding of that from the world for 20-plus years? Now they coming into this, and so that's, I mean, again, it's just about what I've seen in the development of this. There's been some good, there's been some bad, and there's been some ugly. Will we heal as a nation? Yeah. You know, in the Most High's time and whatever remnant he deems necessary to have that healing administered to. You know, and my prayer is that, you know, that myself and, you know, those surrounding me are in that fold. So with that, I yield.
Hey, let me just add to what let me just land back off what Gabbar was saying. He made some very good points. And one thing that he said, that you got people just coming into this faith brand new, and they're already teaching. They're already starting to do all these different accolades that it took a lot of us years to do. So now, what is it that's being promoted? What's being the constant trend in Israel? Oh, once you get in, you can start debating and teaching. See, we have to show that it's not about just debating and teaching all the time. Yeah, that may be one aspect within this community that we tend to do, and we've all partaken in that, and we all drunk in that cup. But being an Israelite is more than just having a social media account
and you're blasting somebody with your doctrine, or you're cutting somebody with words, or you're going to sit up and teach all day. That is not what it means to be an Israelite. Only certain people can do that. It's not meant for everybody. Everybody wants to be the head honcho. Everybody wants to be the king. Everybody wants to be in charge. Certain people are picked for that. The Most High has people who he has in mind to do his will. It's not for everybody. Like you said, we all have to be willing to play our position. And I'm done.
All right, go ahead, Ouidah. And after that, we're going to get some last words and maybe some solutions. But go ahead, Ouidah.
Well, I can agree with that. Like, some people just coming in this that don't need to be teaching. Because I heard some stuff where people say it was just completely off the wall. But as far as with the Christian religion, how they laugh at Israelites, best believe me, they laughing at us tremendous, crazy. I done been on Clubhouse to the point is I done seen people in the room just talk about how stupid and that we sound about saying that we are the people of God. And they really be going in on us. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand Christianity has been around since we done came into the truth. You know what I'm saying? As far as that goes. But I could agree with what they saying as far as that people just coming in and trying to teach and trying to take a position of leadership when, like you said, you don't need to be in that atmosphere if that ain't for you. If God didn't plan it for you, just leave it alone. But I like to say, as far as joining a camp, if you really think that's for you, then that's just you. But see, the thing is, what we read up in the Word, God said He was going to teach us. You know what I'm saying? We got too many doctrines floating around for us to be saying that a person fit to teach. When I would pretty much say, if I was to join a camp, I would have to question a teacher about what they believe in and why they really feel the way they feel, and for them to show me what it is that they saying is true before I could even consider to being in the camp. You see what I'm saying? Now, we got to use common sense, because if you just going up and joining a camp because of what you hear is not the same thing about what somebody would say. I would say that of you doing every day in life. Everything that you normally know what you do, you can agree with that because this is how you do it. You see what I'm saying? You train yourself just to be that certain way. But people just coming into this truth and claim to be a teacher, like, we got to be real with ourselves. You just can't just up and just be to the point is, hey, I want to go join a camp because I believe they know what they talking about. Only thing I'm saying, if we going to come together, hey, pretty much you said let God bring us together if that be the case. Because the way we doing things right now, it's not happening. And I understand that we want to be a nation of people because God intended for us to be that way. But God prophesied everything at its perfect time, and to the point is He said that that His prophecy, His word will not come back void. But whatever that time is, that's when God got that plan for us. Because He said we ain't going to see eye to eye until we get in the land. When you read Isaiah 52:8, we in the land trying to do the right thing, but it seems to the point is that it's not falling in place. Now, I don't mind somebody talking to me long as we civil and we could just get along for the sake of, but just to get along with a person because they believe in the same things that you believe in, that ain't godly life. God always to judge according to His word, not because of what you believe and feel. So that's all I have to say.
Hebrew Israelite Brotherhood in question. Interesting conversation. You know, a lot of opinions were shared tonight. And, of course, thank BA for joining us. And Gabbar had to leave, but I appreciate you for coming on. We're going to get some last words, guys. We're going to get some last words. And with them last words, maybe you can bring some solutions to this. Like, is there any solutions at all when it comes to the brotherhood? We're going to go to Mack Thomas. Dead. Hey, Mac, can you hear me, Mac? Are you there, Mac? Oh, okay, but we have some difficulties. All right, well, let's go to Ouidah. I'm going to go back to Mac. Yeah, Ouidah, any last words?
Right. Basically, our solution is God, man. I mean, that's the only thing for what I've been reading to understand, that God is going to make everything happen in this proper time. With us trying to do it on our own, we ain't seeing what God instilled in for us to do. So, like I said, let God be your God and none else. You know what I'm saying? That would be my last word.
All right, of course, I appreciate you, Ouidah, for coming on. Of course, I'm going to bring you on for more shows in the future. I got your Facebook link in the description box, so those who want to reach out to Ouidah and all the special guests that joined us tonight, go to the description box, and you can reach out, as always. Let's go to BA, man. Any last words, any solution to this brotherhood issue? Go ahead.
My last words are to all who are listening live and those who are going to listen to it on YouTube and the mini replays after that. Just while you're engaging with brothers, especially the brothers, while we're online and we're amongst each other, let's work hard to not always attack and cut each other. See, let's use the word of God can be used to cut, of course, but it heals. You can cut and heal somebody. Let's use the word for its full purpose. No one's going to want to accept the word of God when you use it as a sword to hurt people, because there's much more to it. You can use the word of God to heal people so they can have the understanding and come into the ways of the Most High. We got to look at it from that perspective. And another thing to my brothers and sisters, be critical. Don't be critical to be disrespectful. Be critical to get clarity and to understand what someone is teaching you when they claim to come in the name of the Most High. There's nothing wrong with calling things out if it doesn't sound right. Don't allow people with this cult paradigm behavior to tell you something wrong with you or you're off because there's something that doesn't make sense to you. You can't be a believer in the word and be a coward. That's unheard of. The word of God provokes you to have confidence and courage to call things out if it doesn't sound right, or to call things into question if you don't understand it. It's called critical thinking. It's called being a human being. And with that being said, I hope all have a good night, and may the Most High guide you and give you peace within your household. Much love to all, and I'm out.
All right, Brother B, we appreciate you, man. Also, the Man Up segment is coming back real soon, guys. So look out for Brother BA's Man Up segment. We're trying to work it out as far as when we're going to set it off for that. If it's going to be on the weekend, if it's going to be on a weekday. But the Man Up segment will be back pretty soon. Our Brother B, any updates you want to share with the people?
Yes, we got our first guest coming on. It's going to be March 12th. I think that's a Sunday. Me and Sal will get together and talk about that. But it looks like the best schedule for me is either on Saturday nights or Sundays. Probably more so Sundays, but we do have the first guest. And from there, I got an arsenal of brothers and sisters who just want to come on. So as time progresses, I'll give you a heads up in the dates and the times, and we'll just go from there. We'll take it one show at a time. No big rush, but one show at a time. Most High willing, March 12th, and we're going to do a critical examination, a thorough critical examination on Acts chapter 10, and we're going to look at it from a social and historical perspective. And it will be me and Sister Ashanti. We have some information. Me and Ashanti get together, man. We bring it out, and we'll see if people are willing to embrace it. And we're always willing to We know people are going to disagree with this, but we ask, can you bring historical sources instead of your emotions? And that's it, Sal.
All right, Brother B, I appreciate you for coming on, man, once again. And as far as debate talk, too, right now we're going to do Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So look out for us every week, Mondays and Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Sometimes we may have debate maybe on a Friday, but we're trying to do things on the YouTube channel as well and the Clubhouse. So, but as far as Blog Talk, Mondays and Wednesdays, we're going to have a show for you guys. So keep that in mind. Well, let's go to Mack Thomas with his last words. I appreciate you for coming on. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I appreciate for you allowing me to have this dialogue. Sorry about that. I had some noise in the background, but I think that we as a people are definitely at the crossroads to where these are the last days. It says in Matthew 23. I'm not going to read all of it. I'm just going to read the last part. It says that the weightier matters of the law is judgment, mercy, and faith, and that these things should be done concerning the weightier matters that is written in the law. And I think that we have forsaken these things. We have forsaken mercy and judgment and faithfulness to the Most High because of our own disobedience and our own unwillingness to come back to Him. And I think that once we start doing that as a people and teaching our children to do so, as well as our elders, start coming in together to be those ones that guide us into the understanding of the path that we ought to take, so that we learn from our mistakes. I think we as a people will definitely rise up again and be able to be restored as the Most High sees fit for us to do. I believe that that time is going to come. Right now, I do believe with the divisions and the things that's going on, we are definitely behind. We are definitely falling short of the goal of being a nation. But I do firmly believe that time will be coming soon.
All right, Mack. Mack Thomas. So I appreciate you for coming on the platform. And once again, like I said, all the information as far as reaching out to the special guests is in the description box, guys. So you can reach out to any of the special guests on this platform in the description box. Of course, check us out, all things social media, Debate Talk for You, Clubhouse, DT4U World. That's DT, the number 4, letter U World. And, of course, support the YouTube channel and subscribe. We're going to see you guys next time. Take care. God bless.
Brand disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this platform by individuals, callers, or invited guests are their own. The information you hear does not reflect the overall views of all parties associated with the brand. We encourage everyone to research all things heard live or via archive for edification purposes. Discretion is advised.